I decided to have breakfast for lunch. I went into this restaurant called Grits, and I was looking for a cook as well. So I spoke with the waitress about some ideas, and she gave me some great ideas on apps and ways to find locals who might be good for that position. And the gentleman sitting next to me, he actually had some art supplies. So I started a conversation with him, and he told me that he was an artist, and he went to New Orleans, and he gave me some good recommendations for restaurants. So that's pretty cool. If I ever go there, I'm going to check out some places. But anyway, he said he was an engineer and an artist. And at one point, he pointed at the television, and he said something about the guy, Senator Schiff. Looked like he had Botox. That's what he said. And at one point, the waitress asked what he was talking about, and he said he didn't care what the guy was talking about. And it was just some type of Senate committee where Adam Schiff or whatever was talking to. Well, I think Kash Patel was doing a testimony or something. And essentially, the waitress said she didn't care either. And I was just thinking, we're at a point where officials have no real credibility. Nobody cares what these people are saying because nobody believes what's coming out of their mouths. Nobody. Okay, so later on I found out it was the Epstein committee or whatever. They were talking to him about the Epstein situation. By the way, the U.S. Senate recently decided to block the release of the Epstein files. What's interesting is Kirk, he was, before he was killed on the 9th, he asked the question, do we have the Epstein files or not? Right? The day before he was killed. Not saying it was connected, but it was really interesting. The next day, they actually the Senate decided to block the release of the Epstein files. The day Kirk was killed. So that's a little interesting tidbit right there. But I go back to this, and I was able to pull this clip. Kash Patel, who, by the way, claimed that, the FBI found the shooter, the guy who shot Charlie Kirk. They didn't. The father turned his son in. By the way, the father decided not to collect any type of reward money, and the father wants to talk to the Kirk family. And I hope he gets the opportunity to talk to them, or he can help in some way. It's unfortunate. It's a tragic situation. He did the right thing by turning in his son if his son was a shooter. The whole story seems a bit weird to me. The whole narrative about the rifle being found in the woods, and you see the video of this guy, the alleged shooter, jumping from the roof, and you don't see the gun. And the long rifle is like a 44 or 42-inch rifle. But anyway, I found this clip, and I just wanted to really respond to it. There's Kash Patel, director of the FBI.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is.
What? He trafficked these girls to himself? Himself. Well, wait a minute. So that's Senator Kennedy. He trafficked these girls to himself. So how do you bring girls to an island, your island, and you're trafficking to just yourself? There's nobody else going. Wasn't there a log? See, this is why nobody wants to listen to these people.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information.
Okay, no credible information. Let me stop you right there. No credible information. So if I have information that certain people were involved in the operation, I can declare it to be not credible. So when I testify in front of Congress, I can say, well, there's no credible information. There's no credible information of anybody else being involved in the trafficking. You see how people can play around with words like that to sort of deceive you?
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information you have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
What do you mean the information is limited? And he said for the information that we have.
in the case file.
Do you have any additional information outside of the official case file? You see how he's just playing around with the language? They won't ever come clean. Trump put pressure on Republicans to block the release of this Epstein file because Trump there's leverage against him. Okay? There's leverage against Trump.
Is upsetting.
That's upsetting. But anyway, if that wasn't upsetting enough, that girl that got stabbed on that light rail train, apparently there's more information coming out about the stabber.
Is upsetting.
Did anyone come to her aid? There's
No.
a fallout today over the horrific murder of 23-year-old Irina Zarutska on a train. Fellow passengers don't seem to realize how badly hurt Irina is. Surveillance video shows her collapse to the floor.
How do you not recognize that? So if you stab somebody on the train, if I was to stab somebody on the damn train, stab a woman on the train, and I'm walking around with blood coming from my hand, you mean to tell me nobody would recognize that?
She's almost out of sight. After the murder, accused killer DeCarlos Brown can be seen stalking the rail car, mumbling to himself, his knife dripping with blood. He's bleeding from a cut hand.
Mumbling to himself, he was saying, I got that white girl, I got that white girl. You see how they didn't include that bit of information in there?
Horrified passengers try to get out of his way. When
I thought they didn't recognize what was going on.
Brown gets off the train, other passengers can be seen running to help Irina. Takara Howard was sitting several seats away.
Do you think people should have helped her?
I really do think people should have helped her. I think a lot of them didn't know what to do in that situation. I think a lot of them was shocked.
The shocking slaying has touched a nerve with male model John Rudat, who suffered a slashed face when he tried to help two women hassled on a train while on vacation in Germany.
If I would have been there, my first priority would have been her. She was obviously losing blood.
Do you think they were scared for their own lives?
I think they were scared for their own lives, and that's completely understandable. She was scared, holding herself, and then slumped over unconscious. And they just let her lie there.
Meanwhile, DeCarlos Brown's sister Tracy confronted her brother during a jailhouse visit, posing the question everyone is asking.
She's from the Ukraine, so I'm just trying to understand, out of all people, why her?
Brown, a schizophrenic, blames voices controlling him.
I don't have nothing. They just lashed out on her. That's what happened.
And Irina's...
They lashed out on her. Okay. So they decided to attack. Well, first of all, why did he say, I got that white girl, I got that white girl? Were the voices racist? I wonder, were the voices racist? Okay. And why did the voices choose that small woman who's sitting by herself on the train at night? You know, the voices didn't choose any of those men around, or even a black woman. The voices chose the smallest person available. That's interesting.
Family is breaking their silence for the first time, saying in a statement, Irina came here to find peace and safety, and instead her life was stolen from her in the most horrific way. No family should have to go through this.
Okay. Unbelievable. We're at a point where a lot of people can't. I don't trust the media. I don't trust the officials. We're in a really bad place. All right, just want to comment on those things. I recently went to a Dua Lipa concert, had a great time, and I'm trying to still live life and still trying to enjoy.
Is upsetting.
As much of life as I can. But we're in a bad place. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget the future belongs to those who prepare for it today.